Yes Have Some Podcast is brought to you by Carnivorous Creations. Our good friend Mike Nelson has been making these incredible Ghostbusters props for a very long time. We've been talking about it for a long time. In fact, if you've been paying attention, you would know that I just got my brand new Proton Pack delivered to me at DragonCon. There's a video up on YouTube. You can see the pictures on Instagram. It is a one-of-a-kind. I'm telling you, this is the best Proton Pack I've ever owned. It's the best Proton Pack I'm ever going to own. And Mike was super cool. He was very communicative. He talked to me. He asked me questions. I personally had the best experience I've ever had getting a prop built for me because let's face it, these things are special. There's a lot of detail. We're picky. Us collectors, us movie fans, we want the good stuff, and Carnivorous Creations delivers. Now, he not only does Ghostbusters Proton Packs and Proton Pack parts, he's getting into Ninja Turtles weapons coming later this year. He's got amazing prop displays, custom displays for your prop replicas. These things are huge. It's hard sometimes. You don't know even how to put it on a shelf. Mike at Carnivorous Creations is going to help you get your collection where you need it to be. So, check out carnivorouscreations.com. That's carnivorous with a K. You can also find them at Carnivorous Creations on Instagram and Facebook. Tell them Yes Have Some Podcast sent you and get yourself into a brand new Ghostbusters Proton Pack.
I don't want to grow up bomb. Do you want some?
Jurassic Park. Now playing the PS7.
Ecto goggles with Ecto Bomber, neutron blaster, and water zapper, each sold separately.
From the corner penthouse of Spook Central all the way to Star Killer Base, this is Yes Have Some Podcast.
You like? Yes, have some. Yes, have some.
You know, they told me you people were conceited douchebags.
The only place in the multiverse where you can love the book, hate the movie, but still buy all the toys.
I'm afraid you're just too darn loud.
I'm not looking for a friend. I'm looking for a Jedi Master.
What?
Please remember to hold on to your butts and get ready to get stressed. With your hosts, Craig Goldberg, Abigail Gardner, and Jacob Walsh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some Podcast. My name is Craig Goldberg. Thank you so much for joining us. It is almost time for Toy Fair 2020. Next week, we will be heading out to the Big Snapple. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
But I like to have fun. You never know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Hey, Jake.
Hey.
What? I saw you drinking something earlier. I don't care what the liquid is. I want to know what was that cup?
It's a cup from the St. Augustine Alligator Farm.
Look at that.
Tight.
Free plug. Next one will cost you, alligators. Abby, how are you doing?
Doing great. I wish I had a cool cup like Jake, but I don't.
It's fine.
Let's go.
Let's go to the alligator farm.
Fucking do it, bro.
High cup,
bro.
free refills all day.
Dude,
whatever. I would just be
Nice.
walking by the alligator water, just dipping my cup in and sipping on that.
That's the free water. That's the
Okay.
good stuff.
Welcome to Yes Have Some Podcast. Listen, I want to tell everybody we just did a bonus episode. It's going to be up on the bonus feed. So if you are not part of the Yes Have Some Patreon community, you're going to want to go to patreon.com/yeshavesome so you can get in on our bonus episodes. Abigail, what did we just talk about?
We just talked about the Super Mario Brothers movie and how good it is. How bizarre that movie is and like how some of the background stuff of how it came to be and our favorite moments. And yeah, I had a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. It was good. I enjoyed it. Also, all weekend you were calling it the Mario and Luigi movie.
Was I?
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Probably.
Well, that's a better title because there's no brothers in the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to even illuminate this point on the bonus episode, but I'll do it. Here's a little freebie, little preview.
Cool.
I think that was their way of trying to draw a connection, an emotional bond between Luigi and Daisy, which was they were both orphans. And
Then it should have been like Mario and his son, Super Mario and his adopted son, Luigi.
Just make Yoshi his son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Mario
And
family.
his son Yoshi, because that choice wouldn't be any weirder than any other choice in the film.
Yeah,
And
that
if-
would make more sense than any of the other choices.
if you like what
It would
we
be
just
more
did,
believable than anything.
65 million years ago, a comet Asteroid hit the Earth and created a parallel universe, which you can now get to.
There you go.
Through Brooklyn. Yeah, the dinosaur dig.
What'd you just? Oh, dig. I didn't know what you said.
That's cool.
So that's on the Patreon feed, and we very much appreciate all of the support. $5 down, $5 a month gets you complete access to the entire archive. Patreon.com/YesHaveSome for all of that. Let's get into some stuff, some housekeeping that we have going on. Jake, you were up here last weekend. Is it
this past weekend?
The last weekend that happened, Jake was here, and we had fun. And we went to Days of the Dead Atlanta, which is a convention we've gone to every year for the past 4 or 5 years. And the convention was a little bit of a bust. Dealers weren't great. Guests were okay. The weather sucked. I don't know. I had a good time, but overall, not my favorite convention that I've ever been to, besides, obviously, for the one guest that we met that we'll talk about in a second. Jake, what was your impression of Days of the Dead this year?
Oh, I don't want to badmouth it.
No,
it's the worst. It's the worst. It was the worst Days of the Dead I've ever been to.
Worst day of my life.
Usually it's a fun small convention.
Yeah.
Usually even it's not the size of it that sucked about it, because it's always small, but it usually has better stuff in the vendor hall. There's usually at least a few guests that I'm excited for. And then this year, it was some of the same people, and then just a bunch of people that I personally didn't care about getting anything signed. I didn't see one thing that I was like, oh, I need to buy this. So, I mean, honestly, we got there, we got your stuff done right away, and we walked around. We were there for 30 minutes, and we were like, hey, let's fucking get out of here.
I'm not going to disagree with you, Jake. I thought it was...
I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah, you got to be honest about it. It wasn't the best convention, but I feel like I had a good time meeting Richard Dreyfuss, and that interaction while we were in line was pretty fun. So I'm glad we got to do that, but honestly, it was kind of like that was the one thing that we actually did there. We got there super early. We got right in Richard Dreyfuss's line. Our buddy Hal went, so it was, kind of set up to be a big day event, but once we got out of the Richard Dreyfuss line, it was a snow day also, we should mention that, which kind of cut back on the attendance. Yeah. Wait, what'd you say?
I didn't see any snow.
I didn't see any
snow. We did get to see our friends
that wasn't
Brock,
very
Bo,
scary.
and Jessica.
Yeah, Brock and Jessica were there. So yeah, there were some
and
good moments. Bo.
Do not forget Bo.
Who could forget Bo?
We met Richard Dreyfuss. We've met him before. Obviously, one of the great actors of all time. I don't know if that's true, but I love him. Jake loves him. Abby loves him.
Yeah, national treasure.
He 4 years ago, if Richard Dreyfuss was doing an appearance, it was like we drove to damn fucking Clearwater, Florida. Jake paid like $300 and didn't even get an autograph. It was just like a photo op to go, it was like a very, sorry, Jake, I don't mean to put all your business out there, but we've talked about that on the, Jake paid $800. He's still paying it off. But then, Richard Dreyfuss started doing more conventions. We saw him at Spooky Empire, and that was the first time we all kind of met him and got autographs. It was a very long line of hundreds of people, kind of an all-day thing. Since then, he's done more conventions, and now he's kind of on the regular circuit. So even though he's a great guest and he's a great get,
demand has kind of dropped a little bit.
Just a little bit. So the lines weren't too bad. I mean, how long were we in line for? 25 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe? That's tops?
Yeah, if that. But part of that was because we got there 15 minutes before the actual con opened. So,
right. Absolutely. Yeah. And I've been posting it on social media, on Instagram at YHS Podcast, and of course our Facebook and Twitter. I had printed out a copy of the cover for Baby Steps from What About Bob, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. To me, it's the funniest movie of all time. I will argue that to anybody. I think Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss's performances are incredible, and I think the fact that they hated each other only made the movie better. So sorry that they went through that, but my entertainment is what I care about more than Richard Dreyfuss getting. You got to see this interview where I talked about it last week, where Richard Dreyfuss kind of details what happened with Bill Murray being very mean to him. But I think that was a time in Bill Murray's life where he was going through a lot.
Yeah.
This was,
Yeah, but also Richard Dreyfuss seems to come out of, every movie saying that somebody didn't like him.
Yeah.
I think it's you, Richard.
Yeah, at that point, you got to look at yourself. Look
like
in the mirror.
if Robert Shaw wasn't in Jaws, he would have had problems with the shark or something. That damn shark.
Somebody.
And I pissed on his grave, his shark grave. Anyways, Richard Dreyfuss was very nice. It was a very pleasant experience.
Yeah, he was in a really good mood, which his handler at one point pointed out that he'd gotten a good night's rest, so he was in really good spirits.
That was his wife, by the way.
Oh.
Somebody was his wife.
Good for her.
But her name is Handler, which is funny.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a great experience, and that was great. And I got my Baby Steps book cover signed, and we got
a
the
picture.
photo.
It was great. Yeah.
Photo ops are always stressful, so I was able to do it right at the table. Jake took some incredible pictures.
Yep, behind the scenes stuff. Thank you.
I got a new phone. Phone is great. Everything was great, and then we got out of there. It was done. We got food, we got lunch, and we moved on with our day.
Yeah.
So listen, Days of the Dead, they put on good conventions, and not every convention is going to be a winner. In fact, with a convention like that, it depends on the guests and it depends on the vendors. If you are really into Sleepaway Camp and that's your favorite movie, and you also love homemade horror trinkets and Funko Pops, you had the greatest day of your life.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If you like buying bootleg DVDs and bootleg Jason Voorhees masks, then Days of the
you are
Dead is
set
for
up.
you, buddy.
There
you
was
want a
one-
jean jacket with a Friday the 13th t-shirt sewn to it on the back? That's your place.
There's a guy who sells
Jam, CBD gummies. The fact that the CBD guy was there, I was like, okay, this feels like a flea market. Although I did take a lot of his samples. I went by twice.
The guy who sells the custom Jason painted masks.
Yeah.
We had a discussion of, because we see him at a lot of cons, and I was like, hey, Jake, well, I don't remember who brought it up, but
Jake did.
Jake was like, you think he's ever sold one?
Oh my god. It's a tough
Sorry
circuit.
if that guy listens.
Yeah, first of all, send us one.
Listen, I want one. I don't have
Keep
a
up the
Jason
streak.
mask. I think it's a hard sell.
If you buy one of those, you still won't have a Jason mask because they're inaccurate.
They're like other characters on
They're not
Jason
even
Mask.
hockey masks.
It's
They're
just
mashed
painted
up.
onto like the cheap
like a store
Halloween
right,
hockey
right.
mask. It's not a Jason mask.
Right. But hey, listen, everyone's got to do their thing. Everyone's got a little
do
hustle.
your thing. Do your arts, do your crafts. Have fun.
But we got out of there,
Yeah.
so it was fine.
You got the fuck out.
But you know what?
We had to buy toys because we were looking at
There
a
was some
couple.
dogs.
There was some dogs.
Holy shit! Yeah, there were some cute dogs, and I gave them kisses, and then I gave them $5, and I gave it to the human. I didn't give it to the dog.
You should maybe elaborate on what they were there for.
They were there for I didn't read everything, but I imagine for social anxiety and as service animals to like calm people like me down who see the dog.
I think it was specifically for veterans.
Oh,
Maybe.
Yeah.
and veterans.
Yeah. I don't know why these veterinarians need so much money beyond what we already give them.
They're basically doctors
But for the mammals from
for the mammals.
I was a teenage mammal XXX. You'll know what that means from the bonus episode. Okay, cool. So Days of the
Sign
Dead.
up.
And listen, it's nothing against Days of the Dead. We are vintage toy people. There was no vintage toy dealers, so it's that's okay. So
yeah, you have an off year sometimes, and also the weather was working against you. So we get it.
I mentioned Toy Fair. We are going to be. This won't be our. We'll have an episode before we head out to New York. But I did want to mention that we will be at Toy Fair, and we will be covering as much as humanly possible. We're making appointments. We're doing the work. We're baby stepping.
We're
I'm not a
practicing.
slacker. Gimme.
I need.
There's that joke stealing.
Yeah, it's what I do. It's what the people come for and what they want.
We will be in New York for New York Toy Fair. Now, Saturday of Toy Fair.
A week from tomorrow.
We're gonna be
Also,
there.
I need to point out, it's not that I'm stealing, it's that I get so excited about it that I want to do it myself
There you
and
go.
say it, whatever it is. If I can feel the joke coming.
I don't care. Hey, don't try to church it up, Joe Dirt.
Hey, I don't know Joe Dirt very well, so that means nothing to me.
Welcome back to the riveting tale of
I'm just
Joe
saying, don't try to
Dirte.
sugarcoat
It's
it.
because I know it's an excitement that I
stealing it.
can't contain.
So we're just gonna have to start.
I don't want the glory. I'm not a thunder stealer. Like
We're
it's
gonna-
just Excitement.
We're gonna start quoting Joe Dirt only since you don't know those quotes. It'll be great.
There's a part with a dog in that movie that makes me not want to watch the movie.
Is that where you want to be when Jesus comes back? Jerking your dick?
Fuck, what did
little Joe Dirt.
What did I do?
Wednesday. Hey, next Wednesday night, we're watching Joe Dirt.
No, no. We will be together though, which will be fun.
That's why they named you Joe Dirt. Hey, Kid Rock's legit good in that movie. Putting it out there. Randy don't want you, Joe Dirt. Hey, listen.
I've been sitting here.
That's a space peanut.
Trying to find myself. Okay.
What are you, Scott Hall? Okay.
Yeah. I love that video.
Listen, what I'm saying is that you are going to want to tune in to Yes Have Some Podcast on social media, specifically Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at YHS Podcast. We will have all of our coverage of Toy Fair, including there is an exclusive event that we will be attending Saturday, February 22nd at Toy Fair. The Kool-Aid Man here?
All three of us. I'm excited about that.
What if the Kool-Aid Man busted through the wall and said, all three of us? No, the Ecto Cooler Man. No, the Dr. Pepper Man.
Okay.
It's a new mascot.
The Dr. Pepper Can Man.
Listen.
Sweet.
We will be at Toy Fair. We'll be at the exclusive event presented by Hasbro. It's the Hasbro brand entertainment reveals. They will be revealing the new Ghostbusters line of toys. They will be revealing upcoming lines for Star Wars, Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, and others. Obviously, we're extremely focused on Ghostbusters and Star Wars, mostly.
Bit of both, I say. I mean, I'm just going to be happy to be there.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. We're very much looking forward to it. And we're going to be getting our first look, like we said, at whatever Hasbro has up their sleeves for Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters Afterlife. And now that Hasbro is the master toy license holder, whatever toys are coming from Ghostbusters this year, as far as action figures, play sets, vehicles, and that, they're going to be coming from Hasbro. There's a lot to look forward to. My excitement is at like a 9.8. It's been at like a 9.7. It'll be at a 10 and above when we get there. I'm very excited about this.
I've been at
$10,
like a 10, pretty much since I found out that we were going to New York. It's going to be really, really cool.
It's going to be good. I'm very excited, very grateful for the opportunity, and just appreciate it. Thank you for Hasbro and all the people there who are going to be.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
I hope they don't regret asking us to come.
Toy Fair is part of our DNA. Our second episode.
It just ends that they have Jake in handcuffs. Get him out of here. He's stealing the prototypes.
Jake's like, it's bugs. I heard all the bugs.
He won't stop shit talking the new Godzilla toys. I'm excited for that. We're going to get some Godzilla spoilers.
Yeah, man. There's going to be a lot of good stuff. I just got an email from another company. There's a lot going on. I got to get focused here, okay?
Yeah.
I got to get focused. But I'm very excited. So stay tuned to Yes Have Some Podcast. And I'm going to wear my Kenner shirt just to let him know. I know the deal. Dude, I know Kenner.
I'm so jealous that you know what shirt you're going to wear already. I have to go shopping.
You're going to wear a Kenner shirt to Toy Fair like while we're having a talk to other toy companies? Isn't that a little weird? Because then they're going to be like, we're not Kenner.
We're not Kenner. Hey, Kenner went out of business. They better not be Kenner. No, obviously Hasbro owns the rights to Kenner now. Oh my God, I'm excited. What are we going to see? Is there going to be an old man Ray Stantz figure?
OMG. I hope so.
Probably not. I imagine that the first 6 figures are going to be the original 4 guys and Slimer and Stay Puft. But hey, take it if you got it, right?
Yeah.
But we're probably going to see all of it though, right? They're not going to just unveil the first, like they're going to it's going to have we're going to see everything.
I think we're going to get a really good idea of what the plans are for these lines. And oh boy, I get very nervous thinking about it.
Yeah. I do too.
Yeah.
It's an offsite event. It's going to be like several hours. All of that. I don't know what to anticipate. I'm eager.
I do not know what to anticipate.
But I like it. It's like when we went out to LA for the trailer event and it was like we have no idea what's going to happen. Yep. So, yeah.
It's going to be
exciting.
Jake, are you
Yes.
What are you doing over there? You're trimming something.
I just found out where the short is. It's in this cord.
Okay.
It's in the bug?
And if I do this, the short's gone.
Okay.
If I let go, I can only hear
Jake's
out
have
of
hey,
Hey, can we use some of this goddamn Dr. Pepper money and buy some good headphones, please?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I hate
you guys
mine.
got updated microphones. I got the same microphone I've been using for 4 fucking years and a pair of shitty Amazon headphones.
Yeah, I
Buy
hate my
me
headphones.
Fucking headphones.
When you say
Damn it.
Amazon headphones, do you mean like Wonder Woman?
Oh, that's why they're gold and leather.
I was always wondering why Gal Gadot was on Jake's headphones. Or is it Gal Gadot? Okay. Let's move on. Jake, you can have anything you want.
Okay, thank you.
It's almost your birthday. We'll take you to New York for your birthday.
No, for podcasters, getting new headphones and a microphone for your birthday is the equivalent of getting socks and underwear. It's
That's
like,
a fake gift. I was about to say, you can't buy me.
like,
Yeah.
I know you.
It's
buy
your
me
Christmas
podcast
present.
stuff for my birthday.
No, that's what you're getting.
That's it.
You're getting
Jake, you asked for it on our last
Hey.
episode.
Hey, on my birthday when we go out to eat, you guys have to pay for it. It can't come out of the Yes Have Some money. You have to
Oh.
pay for it.
You want me to
personally.
use my tip money?
Yep.
Okay. All right. We'll do it wherever you want.
Where are we going to eat for your birthday? Let's make
Ruth's
plans.
Chris.
Let's make plans on the air.
What do you
Let's
want?
make some plans right now. I don't know.
What do you want?
I'm
You
gonna
want
I'm gonna pick the most
Like a
vegan
sweet
place I can
tomatoes?
the
find.
most vegan place. It's
I
just a
want- I
fucking.
want
It's a
Craig-
carrot
I want
farm.
Craig- yeah, I want Craig to be annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then the night before, we're eating at the most non-vegan place possible.
Sizzler.
Yeah, Sizzler.
Cool.
No, we're going to the Sbarro in Times Square.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
We're
Which
gonna have
one?
Dude, they've got a good buffet. Yeah.
Okay, we're off the rails here. Jake, you can have anything you want for your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
And,
Pick out anything.
pick out any headphones you
No.
want. Any Gal Gadot headphones possible.
I was gonna get Jake something. Wonder Woman. I almost said American Woman. Wonder Woman for his
American
birthday.
Woman.
You know that really good.
We're gonna get him
Lenny
a
Kravitz
lasso.
song.
We're gonna get him a lasso of truth.
Yeah.
And put him in it. And he's gonna tell us what he really feels. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Finally, Jake will feel his real. By the way, everybody knows Jake. Okay, I want to talk about this real quick. Rick Moranis. They announced today he's coming back for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
Everybody's freaking out about it. We'll talk about that. I put up a tweet. I said, I can't believe Rick Moranis is returning to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's the 4th movie in the franchise and only the 4th one he's been in. And I think it was Matt Provençal. Someone was like, did Jake write this? Because it was just like so snarky and so like I felt really good about that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So let's talk about that.
You ghost writing my tweets for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm gonna live tweet Jake watching Batman vs Superman.
Dude, you could write for Jake.
I could write for Jake. The first tweet.
I think we could all write for each other.
Here's Jake live tweeting any DC movie. Oh boy. Not good.
That's it.
Not having fun. No, but hey, you guys might be surprised because we are going to be reviewing a DC movie a little bit later, and you never know what we thought.
Never know.
Okay, let's talk about Rick Moranis here. It was announced and confirmed today that Rick Moranis is returning to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Afterlife, or whatever it's called. What's it called? I read what it's called. Shrunk. That's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
This is a new movie. This is a legacy sequel. The Force Awakens of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It was originally going to be for Disney Plus. They were really happy with the script. Joe Johnston is directing it. He directed the original movie. He also directed Jurassic Park 3. Shout out to friend of the podcast, Trevor Morgan. Maybe he'll be in the movie too.
Ooh.
Probably not. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
I don't know if you saw the script. How do we feel when you read the news today, Jake, that Rick Moranis was coming back for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? And for all we know, it has been said publicly that he will not be returning for Ghostbusters. Obviously, we won't know if that's true or not until we see Ghostbusters. But there was some pretty strong reactions from the Ghostbusters community today. People seem kind of teed off at Rick Moranis. They've moved their anger from Paul Feig to Rick Moranis. He's now the enemy of the Ghostbusters fandom, at least for today. What did you think?
I mean, I'm excited about it. Like, I see a lot of people that are bummed that he's, not announced for Ghostbusters, but he's announced for this. But that doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me that he's not in Ghostbusters because I don't think he should be in it just for the sake of being there. Like, if the role didn't work out or if it didn't make sense, like, for all we know, like, is it like, did it come out somewhere that they wanted him for Ghostbusters and he turned it down, or are we just getting no, he's not in it? Because that doesn't mean, like, just because he's not in it doesn't mean he turned it down. He may have never been offered it.
Right.
There might not have been a part. It might not have made sense to have Louis Tully back in. So it doesn't bother me that he's not in Ghostbusters. But I like that he's coming back for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is great. He's great. He's great in everything. So just the fact that something, you know, he's been like, there's interviews where he's like, hey, it's not that he quit acting for a long time, and he came out at one point and said, I would come back if it was something that he thought was worth coming back for. Right. Like he's picky and he's got a family and he's like, I'm not going to just come back for any crap.
Right.
Yeah.
So it must be good, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, he was offered a cameo role in Answer the Call and he turned it down, and he basically publicly was like, why would I want to revisit something from 30 years ago for, you know, a couple hours of shooting? It didn't motivate him creatively.
Yeah.
And I respect that. I 100% respect that. As far as Afterlife, I'm sure they wanted Rick Moranis to do something in the movie. If they offered it to him and he turned it down, that's his prerogative. If they offered it to him and he's in the movie and they just don't want to reveal it,
quiet, that's what I think.
If they want it to be a surprise, if they want to, whatever, maybe it's a post-credit scene.
I think this hints at the fact that, he probably, I don't know, that's probably wishful thinking.
No, here's my thing. I love Rick Moranis. He's one of the funniest people of all time. He's incredible in Ghostbusters. He's incredible in Ghostbusters 2. But I do not think he's a must-have for like. I think Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson are must-haves for this legacy sequel. I think you can do it without Rick Moranis, and you would be okay. Even though I'd like to see him in there. Mm-hmm. But I also think the fact that they just shot Ghostbusters. They're going to do this Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and he's coming back for that. This news today made me think he's in Ghostbusters more than I thought before.
Yeah, that's what I am echoing and feeling as I'm reading this. It's that, okay, so this is confirmation that he will do movies. It's not necessarily negating him being in Ghostbusters. That could be just under wraps.
Right. But also, it could have been the kind of thing where he's like, I don't want to do a cameo. I want to be part of the movie, part of the creative experience. I want to be in, and maybe they just didn't have that kind of role. And Jake, you've been pretty vocal about if it doesn't make sense for the movie, forcing him in just to be there, that might backfire. Maybe that can
hurt.
Yeah, that might not be the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But getting back to the original discussion, I'm excited. I mean, listen. If they're going to bring back all these properties, if they're going to do a new Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie, it's not like I've been waiting for that my entire life. I love the first one. The other ones are whatever. Mm-hmm. If you're going to do it and you can get Rick Moranis in it, that's great. That can't hurt the movie, even if it's not a huge role or anything. I mean, Josh Gad's going to be, I feel bad for the original kid who played Nick Zielinski. I wonder how he's feeling today.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to look it up. It's who played him? Josh Gad. It was Josh Gad the whole time. Okay. No. But what I'm saying is, like, I think it's a good thing. I mean, the guy went through a lot. He lost his wife to cancer. He dedicated his life to his family, has not done a lot of acting over the past, 10, 15 years or whatever. So the fact that he's doing it, like, how could you be upset at that? I think it's a very cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's admirable. Makes you feel good. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Anything else on this?
Yeah.
Anything else?
No. Just, I mean, I know I have wishful thinking. I know that when Jennifer Lopez was playing the halftime show at the Super Bowl, I was like, well, maybe Cardi B and Lizzo will come out because they were in a movie together. Like, because I will put things together.
So you create a thing in your head.
I create like hypothetical scenarios that would just make me personally happy.
It's like when we're watching Mario Brothers, you're like, well, maybe because it's Mario Brothers, like it'll actually feel like the Mario Brothers video game, and then it's not.
Wishful thinking.
There's nothing like that.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So anything else on the Ghostbusters Afterlife front before we move on to our movie review? There has not been a whole lot of news. It's pretty quiet. Abby put up her finger. She says
we were going to talk about the Oscars.
Oh, we were going to talk about the Oscars. Yeah. Next year's Oscars is going to be all Ghostbusters, I think. Best Picture, Best
it's
Actor.
gonna sweep them.
It's gonna be.
What are the chances? What are the chances we're at the Oscars next year?
Fuck, at this point, highly likely.
Not good.
I love you guys. At this point,
At this point, we're going to New York.
we're
in a
already
week.
going to Toy Fair.
We're practically actors. I think we are.
That's fun. We did Canada Dry commercials.
Might be nominated
for the Oscars.
for our commercials.
Do they have commercial Oscars?
Yes.
Yeah.
What about digital media ads?
Oh boy. Oh boy. It's pretty quiet on the Afterlife front. I think starting at Toy Fair, we're going to be rolling out a lot of news and updates.
Yeah.
And then we'll be marching our way towards...
I remember Toy Fair 2016 when they dropped the what the girls looked like in their new uniforms and all that stuff happened. We were all hanging out, so I'm sure it's going to be a similar wave of new content for us to digest and the cross rip to talk about. So I'm excited.
Very well said.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming back.
Hey, thank you real quick for the feedback we got on our interview with Zombie Sailor last week. He is going... Oh, he probably did it. It's on Instagram now.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it happened at 8. So that was... I said we needed to schedule our podcasting around his release
the reveal.
tonight.
We'll look at it afterwards.
We'll watch it later.
Zombie Sailor... at Zombie Sailor's Toys is going to be doing all the Congo, the Case Fresh Congo figures. We had him on the show last week, and it was good. People seem to enjoy that. He's a very nice guy. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Like that guy. Like that Zombie Sailor.
I like him.
And as we talked about last week, he works a lot with the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast with Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Thank you to them for giving us a shout out for the interview. It's called Podcast Synergy. It's how the world works, man. We're scratching backs. They're scratching ours. Next thing you know, we're at the damn Oscars.
Yeah.
And we're all mad that it has nothing to do with Oscar from Ghostbusters.
I'm going to dress in a fuzzy Winnie the Pooh dress with a sweetheart top and that little embroidery on it. So
For the Oscars?
yeah, in homage to Oscar, the only Oscar.
And the nominations for Best Supporting Actor are Finn Wolfhard, Paul Rudd, Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, Dan Aykroyd,
Rick Moranis,
William Atherton, Kurt Fuller, Eric Wright, Ivan Reitman, Troy Benjamin,
Abigail Gardner, Jacob Walsh, Craig Goldberg.
It's going to be good. It's going to be a takeover.
Hey, who knows? Who knows who's in this movie?
Let's talk about the Oscars real quick, and then we'll talk about Birds of Prey. Jake, you don't normally watch award shows, but I forced you to watch the entire damn thing.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, here's what I'll have to say about it. I think I've said it before. I think award shows are pretty, just full of themselves. It's pretty, it's none of it matters. It's all bullshit. It's political crap, but it's still fun to watch them sometimes. And it's fun to get mad at a lot of stuff. But I'll tell you what kept me watching it.
Tell us.
The fact that the Irishman was up for like 11 awards and got 0.
You were so happy.
Anytime an award was announced and it wasn't the Irishman, I was like, all right, I take back a little bit of what I said.
Spite made your viewing
It was a
lot
spite
better.
view.
Yeah, spite viewing.
Yeah.
Spite Oscars.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought the show was pretty good. I wish I like when they have a host. Chris Rock and Steve Martin did some comedy at the beginning. I thought they were great. And I think you need that. You need some levity throughout the show.
Yeah. Because you've got people coming up and making somber speeches because it's their moment to talk about serious issues or whatever.
At one point, I thought I was DVRing like the 2003 Oscars because Eminem was playing. Not only was Eminem performing, he was doing the song from 8 Mile.
Holy shit.
Brittany Murphy was there. It was really
rough.
I mean, you
to
only
watch.
get one shot.
It was weird. It was very strange.
It was weird. Yeah. It wasn't that he was bad or anything. It was just weird that it was happening.
Yeah.
And it's just weird watching like this giant room of weird, rich white people awkwardly moving their bodies to Eminem. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's bad.
I don't need that.
Although, let's all admit, when that song came out, you were into it. I know I was.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that there was never a point in my life where I was deeply into Eminem. I'm just saying in 2020, it's weird watching
Dear
Eminem
Stan.
perform a song from 2003
Listen,
on the Oscars.
I'm not saying that I didn't have an Eminem members.aol.com fan page.
I'm not saying that I don't know every word to the song Kill You from the Slim Shady LP. I'm just saying it's weird.
I'm not saying I didn't also get into all of Dido's music because of that one song.
I'm not saying that just because
On
every time
Napster.
Eminem dissed a Carson Daly or a Christina Aguilera, I completely took Eminem's side. I was like, fuck that, fuck TRL, fuck the establishment. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that.
I don't know which Spice Girl I want to impregnate.
Yeah, but all of them and none of them.
Yeah.
We are very
He tells
political.
it like it is. I'm voting Shady.
I'm still waiting for the real Slim Shady to stand up. Been waiting for 20 damn
Do you
years.
don't want him to run for office and like that be his campaign?
I had fun. Everything that just happened was fun. Listen, congratulations to Brad Pitt, won his first acting Oscar. That was cool. Congratulations to Parasite for kicking ass. I still haven't seen it, but I know it's great.
Yeah, my brother texted me that like morning of the Oscars, and he was like, "Just saw Parasite. It was great." And Jake, you've told us to watch it, so definitely need to see it.
Yeah, it's great. So we're gonna watch Parasite, and yeah, good stuff all around. Just I don't have much more to say other than watching Jake smile for the first time in his life. Every time the Irishman didn't win something was fantastic.
Confirmation.
It was great. It was great. And then yeah, cool. All right.
It was enjoyable.
Before we move on to Birds of Prey, Abby,
Yo,
why don't you tell the people about Facebook? Yes, have some group therapy.
It's so easy. All you have to do is log into Facebook and search for Yes, Have Some Podcast Group Therapy, and you'll find our closed group. And there is well over 700 members at this point, and you can become one of them. All you have to do is ask to join, and then myself, Craig, or Jake will accept you. And from there, you can just start posting anything that's good and that's quality content relating to what we talk about on the show, what you're shopping for on eBay, or the next theme park you're trying to go to, or the movie you're obsessed with and book you're reading. We will be there for you. So post pictures and no memes. Thank you.
And how do you get there again?
Oh, all you have to do is go to Facebook and search for Yes, Have Some Podcast Group Therapy, and then ask to join, and then one of us will accept you. Should I do the whole thing over?
He's just like such a robot about it.
Yeah.
And how do you get there again?
Well, I don't have it written down. It's like basically like, hey, how are you guys doing tonight? What can I get you started off with to drink? Okay, sweet tea, one on sweet tea. It's like that kind of a thing.
Gotcha. Ooh, I don't like sweet tea.
Oh.
But I did notice
I don't like people that get half and half tea. I find that very annoying.
We went out to dinner with Hal Clay on Saturday night, and he got an unsweet tea with lemon.
Wow.
So he was living it up. Okay, cool. Jake, anything else before
Wait,
we
I
move
like
on
that
to-
we went out with Hal to our favorite chain restaurant, and I like that we have a favorite chain restaurant too.
Of course. And if you can guess what our favorite chain restaurant is, and I don't think you're going to be able
If
to.
you can, you've been watching my stories.
Oh.
Oh.
So the information's out there. Jake, anything else before we move on to Birds of Prey?
No, let's do it.
Yeah, we
Okay.
may as well talk about
Get it
it.
over with.
Let's get to it. Hey, also, Jake and I went shopping on Sunday,
Yeah.
and I pulled the. We're pretty bad about pressuring each other into buying stuff sometimes, but I literally pulled a no nonsense move. I was like, "No, you're buying this thing, like these prints." I was like, "You have
You
to."
did, yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
I think Jake posted-
didn't you make us buy a picture of a cat that looks like our cat?
I didn't
No
pull
nonsense.
anybody's leg. Craig was I urged him in the area. He was already going to buy it though, I think.
Yeah. I'm glad that he did. It makes me happy.
There was some artist proof prints from some movie posters at a store, and
It was artist proofs of the original artwork from the Broadway production of Little Shop of Horrors and the original Broadway production of Jesus Christ Superstar. They are both signed by the artist, and they also came with there's like a letter attached to the back of them where it's addressed directly to a couple, and he's like, hey, I made these prints for you guys because I feel bad because I couldn't get you an original piece of artwork. I hope you enjoy these. He explains what they are. It's from the actual artist, and I bought them, and then we were sitting in the car, and I'm like, wait, so he personally made these prints for these people, and they gave them away or sold them or something because they
Yeah.
wound up in this shop. They're fucking mine now.
They're
That's
Jake's
great.
now. And
Yeah,
here's what
good
happened.
job.
Jake was just going to get the little shot print.
Yeah,
but
they were kind of expensive. I mean, not like super expensive, but it was like
not like
it was,
headphones.
to get 2 of them was a little more than I was like feeling like I wanted to pay.
But what I told Jake, a lot of people might not know this. Maybe you'll be surprised by this. Jake, one of his favorite musicals of all time, maybe his favorite, is Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the Superstar. I think that's what it's called officially.
Yeah.
And Jake was just going to get the little shop one, and I pulled Jake aside and I said, "Listen, man, you're not thinking straight. You got to get
didn't
home."
pull me aside. You did this loudly in front of people, and I was like,
You shamed him?
I shamed him. I was like, "You have to buy," because I've been around Jake and Abby and all these people for so long, and I knew we're far away from the house, 45 minutes by car,
Yeah.
obviously. 45.
You knew
On
that
foot.
if I didn't buy it, I would be calling you the day I got back in Valdosta and said, "Hey, man, do you think you can ride back out there and pick that up for me?"
It was a 45-minute drive through treacherous Atlanta traffic.
Yeah.
Well, it's a 45-minute walk, 3.5 miles.
Yeah. Both ways.
No, I knew-
Naked.
In the snow.
Carrying each other on your back.
It's just like Dumb and Dumber, like on the fucking moped. Just go, man. Listen, I knew Jake was going to want that, and I know he's happy he got it.
You didn't want to hear about it, so.
I didn't want to hear about it later.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, it's hanging on my wall now, and I love it.
There you
good.
go. Wait, there's a Jesus Christ Superstar movie too, right?
There's like an old movie from the 70s, and then there's a filmed stage version from like 2003, and then there's a filmed version from like last year or the year before. So yeah, there's a couple ways you can watch it.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Very cool.
Let's do this. Let's talk about Birds of Prey. After the triumphant convention of Days of the Dead,
Yes.
we all decided we're going to go see Birds of Prey. Now, Jake, I believe on the podcast, Jake said this a lot. You said, "I cannot envision a scenario where I go to the theater and see this movie." And then he came to our house. Well, we're going to see Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Before we go on to that, Abby,
Yo.
what was your anticipation level for this movie specifically? Jake had no interest in seeing it.
I was the one that kind of cajoled him and you also to go see it on Saturday night because I was kind of eager to. I like to think the best of things, and I guess there was part of me that wanted to give Harley Quinn a chance. And I heard that it was at like 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, especially in the beginning there. So I was excited about it. One of the like musicians, artists I like named Doja Cat, she did a song for the movie, and I thought she was going to be in it too, based off of like a promotional image that I saw. She wasn't.
I knew she would. You kept
I
telling
told
me.
my cousin she was in it. I need to correct myself. She's not. She's definitely not in it. But I was like, oh, cool. Well, maybe she'll. Just like her association with it, I was like, okay, I like what she's about. Maybe this movie will be somehow like pro and woke in a way that's like really new and exciting and like kind of be better than people expect it to be and maybe blow me out of the water or change my mind. You know what? Maybe like Deadpool is kind of what I was thinking, is that this movie could be like, could get me. That's what I was hoping, is that it would, going into it. And I told Jake, I was like, hey, let's go see this over the weekend. And then we went and saw it Saturday night. And we went late too. After a very long day, we went to a late night showing.
Got a popcorn and everything. Now, and just for frame of reference, maybe we have new listeners who haven't kept up with our whole back catalog. What is your opinion of Suicide Squad, which was the first movie to feature Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn?
I did not like that movie at all. It is a painful watch, and it has way too many intros to characters. It's convoluted. It feels like different movies put together. I couldn't stand the Joker. Harley Quinn I found to be mildly irritating, but probably the best part of the movie. So
when the best part of the movie is mildly irritating, that's never a great sign.
That's kind of where I stood. But I thought, well, maybe Margot Robbie, since she's kind of behind this, and this was her vehicle that she wanted for a while, I thought maybe there would be something interesting in the movie.
Thank you for setting all that up.
Uh-huh.
All right, Jake. So I already stated you had said you had no interest in this movie. Give us a little bit of give us the why behind that statement.
Well, because the why is because DC has a very, very bad track record. I personally have disliked every DC movie I've seen since The Dark Knight. Suicide Squad being among the worst offenders of just everything. Like it's bad.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad is absolute trash. And there's no, like, with that kind of track record, there's no possible, like, what could there be about a sequel to that would get me excited in any kind of way? There's nothing. So yeah, I went in completely just being like, all right, I guess I'm watching this fucking movie.
Okay. And then for context, I also did not like Suicide Squad. I have not been a fan of the majority of what DC has been doing since relaunching. Listen, it was called the DC Extended Universe, and then they're like, no, it's not that. It's not a connected universe, but they're all still connected, even though they're supposed to be standalone. It's very confusing, very convoluted.
Backtracking.
It's weird. It's weird stuff. I thought, Man of Steel is pretty good. Batman vs Superman's not good. Justice League is really not good. Shazam felt like bottom row Marvel, maybe.
Shazam was at least joyful, which I think felt different from the other DC offerings.
Wonder Woman, overrated. Just I'm in agreement. And then Suicide Squad, it just was. Remember the hype for Suicide Squad? The trailers were great. It was this is going to be the next Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was just like, oh, what happened? That was that was worse than bad.
Shiny and sugar coated without any heart, and that's one of the things. If we're going to jump into it.
No,
we're not.
Yet.
I'm not.
Not yet.
I'm not.
You just ruined it.
Okay.
You just ruined the whole damn thing.
I didn't ruin anything.
You ruined it.
I did not ruin anything. If I'd gone into it, maybe, but I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, fuck it. Let's just start talking about it. Abigail.
Yes.
1 to 10. 2 thumbs up. What did you give Birds of Prey? How many thumbs? Out of 10.
I'd give this 3 thumbs. Three fucks.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
Okay. You did not like it.
No, I didn't like it.
You didn't like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go next. I also did not really like this movie. I thought I was going to. I really thought this was going to be the one where I walked in and said, you know what? This is a new beginning for DC. Like Abby said earlier, Margot Robbie pushed for this movie. She worked on it for 4 years. They've got an exciting director, an exciting writer, an exciting cast. This is going to be big, bright, bold, fun. This is going to be like John Wick, but with like badass characters doing badass things. And I walked out and I felt like I had just watched ho-hum, middle of the road, some nice looking action sequences, very bright, very colorful. It's not that it's poorly acted. It's just a poorly assembled movie. You could feel the tone changes throughout. You could feel like, whoever wrote the last scene did not write this scene. I thought Ewan McGregor shined a couple times, but ultimately was just kind of wasted. And that's kind of the through line with a lot of these DC movies. It's like everything's there for the taking and they just can't
squander it.
They can't even figure out how to give the movie a title that people can fucking find. When you search Harley Quinn on Fandango, it says no results. So they had to change the name of the goddamn movie after the second week. Because maybe Birds of Prey, the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn isn't a fucking good title of a movie. All right.
It's now called Harley Quinn and her redacted Birds of Prey. That's not true. Jake, did you give your rating yet?
Oh, I didn't give my rating.
Oh.
Two birds of prey. Fuck.
Two eggs filled with humans, babies.
Listen.
Yes.
You want to talk about a DC movie that has heart. Okay. You want to talk about a DC movie that has good writing, that has, good characters, good acting. You want to talk about a DC movie that makes me feel something.
I feel like we need some, hold on, let me, hold on.
This is not that movie. What are you guys doing?
I don't know. I thought you were about to start preaching.
I was doing the Fugees.
You guys ruined my thing.
I wasn't. I was doing
This is not
Free
that
Willy.
movie at all.
No, it's
this
not.
movie sucks. I disagree with something you said, Craig. You said it's not that. You said that it's not that it's badly acted. It is badly acted.
I agree.
Whoever that actress is that plays Black Canary.
Yeah, let's get some names.
Did she just get out of high school theater? Like, it's the worst job of acting I've ever seen. She's
Journey
awful.
Smollett Bell.
Journey
Everybody
Smollett,
is all over. This may be the worst DC film.
Whoa.
Maybe the worst. It's fucking bad. And I've seen people who are like praising the choreography, except it shouldn't look like choreography. It should look like people were fighting, and it doesn't. It looks like this entire movie plays out like a really bad like theme park show. You know what I mean? It feels like you're on a back lot of a fucking theme park, and they're doing like, here's how we fake punch each other. Whoa, here's our like scripted bad jokes. Like, that's what it seems like the entire film. This movie fucking sucks.
Yeah, but tell us like how tell us
you
what you really feel. Like, I feel
Get him on the hey, get DC on the phone.
Yeah, dude.
All right,
Get him on the phone.
Here, do the phone ringing.
Ring, ring.
Hello, DC Comics.
Hey,
Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with tonight?
You listen to me. I just have one question.
Yes, sir.
How dare you?
Why don't you just tell me the movie you're trying to
What
say?
did you do to her? Give me the phone, honey. What did you do to Harley?
Who do you think you are?
By the way, my favorite takes on this. So there's all these opinions on this movie. There's all these opinions on the movie. Good. It's great. It's terrible. But my favorite opinions are the people who are like, they don't get Harley. They don't get what she wouldn't dress like that.
No.
She wouldn't wear that fun outfit. She's a sexy beast.
It's not about any of that.
She's supposed to be so sexy. I wanted to have sex with her. Now I'm just scared.
I mean, Jake, you mentioned this. Her actual origin story from the material itself and from the animated series is that she was just the Joker's sidekick, and she was like unrealistic and fantastical and very out there with like what she does as a character. Like almost like comic relief, and it kind of dumbed the show down a little bit. So if
she
that's
doesn't cross over very well.
Yeah.
It's like it's weird. Like I feel like the Joker's kind of, you can make that argument for the Joker, but the Joker works. And I feel like the Joker works because you have like such a dark Batman, and you have, so many other things that ground it. But like the Harley Quinn has never, to me anyway, has never really like fit very well into the world. Like the Joker does not need a sidekick. Like it doesn't, she just doesn't. I don't know, man. That character, it doesn't do anything for me.
And I don't think they
a story I don't know.
They didn't add to her story or make it enrich it in any way with this, especially with her backstory. And that's one of the things that if they were trying to make, which I think it was painfully obvious that this movie Birds of Prey was intended to follow the Deadpool format. Because it's like out of chronological order, the R rating, the bad guy with the heart archetype, all of those things make it really similar, except for when it comes down to like Wade Wilson's, the trauma that he goes through, if that's his name, right? I think Deadpool's like, he goes through all that intense shit, which makes his skin and his face and all of that, like it's painful and it's visceral and it's right there in your face, and it anchors you to the character and makes you understand him and makes him get away with some of his snarkiness, and it makes the movie have heart. But Harley Quinn, never at any point in this movie do you see how the trauma affects her, or that it's real in any way, is so bubblegum and sugar-coated surfacey that you never see her vulnerability. And I feel like they could have done that with this movie, especially with her backstory being what it was. The delivery they gave us with that cartoon version in the beginning, like it looked nice as a package, but I never connected to Harley Quinzel's actual story, and I felt like it was a hugely missed opportunity, especially if you're trying to make a female-driven, female-led cast. Like if we're trying to get behind all the ass-kicking, then we need to care about them, and I never cared about her. And I thought they could have done something, not to say like you need to chop her arm off to make me get behind her, but like do something.
Here's the thing. The challenge is always like, how do you adapt a comic book or animated character and put them into a movie and make you buy into it? It's not easy, but it can be done. I think the character of Harley Quinn, even though maybe Joker doesn't need a sidekick, maybe she's annoying or whatever, I think it can work on screen. In fact, I think if you had Kevin Feige and Marvel and a team of writers that know what they're doing, they would do something interesting that would make you care. They made you care about Ant-Man. Who fucking cares about Ant-Man until you see Paul Rudd as Ant-Man? Oh God, I'm gonna get shit on for that one. But that's why I feel he's a very tiny man. Who cares?
Yeah.
Now I care.
And you need to have real, actual bonding moments. It's like they tried to at like when Harley Quinn adopts or whatever, takes in that girl, the jewel thief, and they like there's no real bonding between them.
Here's the thing. Okay, so the only scene in this movie where I felt even a shimmer of what you're talking about is the scene where they go grocery shopping, where I get what they were trying to do, but it just kind of fails. Listen, we're going to hit some spoiler territory, obviously, but we won't give away every last detail of the movie. Well, we probably will. But anyways, so first of all, Suicide Squad happens 4 years ago. So it's been 4 years. They want a continuation of that plot and those characters without the Joker in it, because they don't have a Joker right now.
Yeah.
They also don't have a Batman. So it's a DC movie that takes place in Gotham. There's no Joker and no Batman. You're already at kind of a disadvantage because, unfortunately, you can do movies in the world of Marvel without Iron Man, without Captain America, because they're the biggest heroes in that world. But it's a world. Gotham City is a city that is run by Batman and the Joker. That is the core to what makes Gotham City.
Yeah, it doesn't
They
feel
also
like that.
they also in those Marvel films, whenever something's happening and you're like, oh, well, where's Iron Man at? They usually explain to you why those characters aren't around.
Mm-hmm.
In this movie, it's a movie where the entire time there are lots of people getting killed. There are very big explosions.
Yeah.
There's lots of shit happening. And the entire time you're just like, well, why isn't Batman here?
Yeah.
Like, where's Batman?
There's a lot of confusion and questions. It doesn't feel like Gotham. It's a very weird. It feels like that show that was on the WB, I guess. The Gotham.
Gotham?
Yeah, Gotham. Exactly. Like there's like a nightclub in that. And
it feels like Gotham, and it feels like a CW show. It doesn't elevate itself to the cinematic status it should. It tries with fancy choreography and explosions, but that doesn't.
There's no God, like the character.
There's no God.
Like Black Canary, like that shit's not.
Real quick, I want to say another thing. It's a movie where they don't have the Joker, but they reference him every 5 seconds.
It gets uncomfortable.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have to. Like your whole plot is, oh, she's not protected by Mr. J anymore. Now we're gonna go after her, and it's just like, ugh, this is not working for a million reasons. This is not working.
Mm-hmm.
The main plot of the movie is also weird because they don't do a linear story. They do the flashbacks and, well, now we're gonna go here and I gotta fill you in. It's just, and it gets to be very tiresome and very kind of like nerve wracking almost. Like it's just like,
yeah, it's not tedious, or it is tedious. It's not clever. It doesn't feel like it's organic and unravels the story in a way that like makes any sense.
Right. But
it's just done to mimic that.
So the MacGuffin of the movie is this diamond, and I watched the movie and I can't even tell you why it's important. It's worth a lot of money. Is that it? Just an expensive diamond?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's the diamond that joins the two worlds that were created by the meteor that hit Brooklyn.
It's essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
It's got some sort of like code in it that whenever somebody figures out the code, gives you the secret hiding place of a bunch of other money or something.
It's got the names of all the women who weren't nominated for an Oscar. Okay. Sorry.
Something dumb.
Yeah, something in it.
So they're looking for this diamond, and this little girl takes it. So basically,
she's a thief.
We should talk about Ewan McGregor, Black Mask. What's his real name?
Let me look it up here.
We're bad Batman fans here.
Who cares?
Well, let's talk about Ewan McGregor in general. He's the bad
Roman
guy.
Sionis?
Yeah, Roman Sionis. He's okay in this movie, and there's a couple times where he's great. He's an asshole. When he's playing it flamboyant
and unhinged, he's great.
He's pretty great. But that's literally like one scene. And there was one scene where Jake and I and Abigail
we
laughed hard out loud. And I was like, great. It took about 40 minutes, but this movie has found its footing. And that didn't really happen.
And then, he wasn't like that again in the movie.
We're done.
Are we done?
We're just done.
That's it.
I was like, I have a list of ways that it's like Answer the Call. So I can go to this.
Do it. I want to hear it.
This is the Answer the Call comparison. Both films have a female-led ensemble cast, B, a late-in-the-game title change, C, a checkered production with a lot of studio interference and too many cooks in the kitchen, resulting in a disjointed, messy feeling storytelling. 4, or I guess D, I kind of mixed it up.
She switched it up halfway through. You were like, hey, much like the title change, let me also change something.
I have the right to change. All right, none of the characters act like real people. None of their neurotic gestures and are charming. Most of their jokes fail. And lastly, moments of actual potential, like Ewan McGregor's performance / like the ley line, storyline, those were squandered completely.
Is that what we're referring to that now?
The ley lines?
The ley lines. Potential!
And then, okay, there's only 2 more. It left me completely underwhelmed, disappointed, and moderately agitated. And finally, wardrobe choices are not good substitutes for jokes. Like Aaron Gilbert is a bad dresser, is not funny. And then in this movie, the Did I Shave My Balls for This Shirt, without any context or backstory or explanation, it's just like not funny at all. Rosie Perez is wearing that shirt at one point. Yeah. So I kept getting those weird vibes throughout the movie where I was like, this reminds me of like a poorly jumbled together thing similar to Answer the Call.
Well, there you have it.
And there you have that.
I like that breakdown.
Cool.
Jake, what'd you think of Ewan McGregor?
I didn't think he was very good except for that one scene, which was very weird because it seemed like maybe that scene was filmed as either a pickup or it was filmed way ahead of everything else, and maybe there was some direction with how he should be playing the character or something, because it literally, like, he's playing the character one way, that scene happens, it's a completely different thing, and then that scene ends, and then he's back to the way he was playing it before that scene. Yeah. It's its own little bubble scene, which is weird. And he's great in that scene. It's the scene where he's showing Black Canary around his house and showing her all the masks and the shrunken head, which is the one part that I thought was funny.
Yeah.
But besides that, he's kind of annoying. His accent is very weird. He has like a weird enunciation thing happening, and it sounds like somebody trying to do a bad American accent. Yeah. And it was distracting for me the rest of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd say he was one of the best parts of the movie, for as much as we just complained about him. Which is not saying much.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about the worst part of the movie yet?
Do it. What is it?
When Black Canary decides to come out and use her superpower that could have ended the movie a lot earlier.
When all of the sudden she has a superpower that she never, showed any sort of.
Why the fuck didn't she use that in the club when everybody was being a piece of shit to her when she was working that job? Like, just sing and kill everybody and then go.
And how does Harley even know she can do that?
Yeah, there was no point at which she like reveals.
There's a deleted scene where Harley gets a text. She's like, "Oh, by the way, I can sing real loud. It helps."
Well, like she breaks
that. Kill people.
She breaks that glass earlier.
Oh yeah.
But it's not.
But anybody can. Oh.
Anybody.
But
can
it's not presented in a way that makes it seem like she has some sort of power.
Right.
It's just like, she's singing high in the glass.
I thought her superpower was, she has the range of one Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
I will say that I thought Mary Elizabeth
that actress superpower is getting somebody to think she's a good enough actor to be cast in a major motion picture.
Yeah.
Hey, she played Michelle's friend Denise on Full House for years.
Oh my God. I knew I recognized her. That's fine. You were going to talk about Mary Elizabeth Winstead, though, as Huntress. And I
actually thought she was the best part of the movie. But here's the thing. I think I thought Huntress's story was interesting. And I think, though, weaving in her story of her family being killed by like the mafia bosses and her having to be hid away in another, like all of that, I was like, okay, this is an interesting story. It's not being executed very well. She probably deserves her like own standalone movie.
Well, it was better when we saw it in Kill Bill.
Well, there's that as well. But here's the thing. I don't know how I'm not an expert in DC. I don't know how much of that is rooted in comic lore and all that stuff. But I will say her costume sucked and it looked like a WB CW show. Like it was like another one of those things where it's like, in a Marvel movie when look when Captain Marvel shows up. Look when Scarlet Witch shows up. Look at Black Widow. Look at Ant-Man. Look at Spider-Man, Captain America. Any one of those people, Vision, they are wearing a suit that is just, you're mesmerized by it. And I think what DC was going for in this movie is like this more real world type thing, but it's fucking Gotham City. And you're talking about the Joker. So it's not the real world.
City, and you just blew up, Acme Chemicals, and it's like the biggest fucking ridiculous explosion I've ever seen.
And I think it's one of those things where it's like, I know DC fans.
Yeah, and then at one point, Harley Quinn just is wearing skates, like roller skates out of nowhere. That's ridiculous. Like, do more ridiculous shit.
Rosie Perez was not good in this movie.
No.
I know DC fans are excited that Montoya was in the movie, but it's like, it's again one of those things where like the nod that this is a character famous from the comics is not good enough to make it. It doesn't make it good.
Yeah.
Just because it's a thing that is like a fun.
Yeah. Inclusion of an Easter egg doesn't justify it. Fun nod.
God.
This episode is really, we're like, Oscars sucked. This sucks. Eminem sucks.
We're going to New York.
We
Fuck
don't
everybody.
Suck. Fun nod.
We're cool.
The best nod was Jake nodding off during the movie. That was the fun nod.
God.
Dude,
hey,
well,
you know what?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll say this.
Yeah, what'll you say?
Those were comfy seats.
Dude,
those were nice seats.
I will say this. I walked in with a Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, and the Fantabulous, whatever the fucking title was, poster. And I walked out without it because I left it on the seat because I didn't give a shit by the time I'd finished watching the movie.
That is the funniest thing ever. That's the best thing.
Hey, I'll say this.
I was like, I'll take one. Maybe it'll be good.
My dislike of the movie has nothing to do with them not wearing sexy costumes.
No, exactly. That's another thing, like Answer the Call. It's like, oh, it's not because they're women. It's because it wasn't a funny, well-made movie.
Yeah.
It's a tricky little subject.
And if you look at Twitter would have you believe that the reason that the movie is not doing well is because hardcore fanboys are upset that Harley Quinn isn't sexualized enough. And I say that is not why this movie is not doing well. Here's the thing. I do want to have this conversation with you guys. This is like the Terminator Dark Fate thing. There was anticipation for this movie. The reviews are good. The cinema score is good. By and large, people seem to be enjoying it, but nobody went. So we can't say that nobody went because it sucked. Maybe nobody will go next weekend because it's not good. But what is the reason? And I put up a poll on Twitter. Is it DC's track record? Is it bad marketing? Is it because it's rated R when it maybe didn't have to be rated R? Which is
that's a good point. Good point.
Why did, just like with Terminator Dark Fate, collectively everyone said we're not going to this movie.
Yeah.
Except for the three of us.
No interest.
But why aren't people going to this movie?
It's because I think it's a little bit of all of those things. I think it's partly DC's track record, partly nobody likes suicide. Like only people like us watch a movie and say, whoa, that was awful. Let me pay to go see the sequel. Most people don't do that. Right. This is a sequel to Suicide Squad. And Margot Robbie might be great in other movies, but Suicide Squad sucked.
Yeah.
And this sucks. This is the sequel. Most people don't go see every single movie that comes out. Yeah. And if they didn't like the first one, they're not going to go see the next one.
Just masochists like us.
By the way, you remember everyone was like, oh, that Harley Quinn Suicide Squad felt like Hot Topic? They are wrong. That movie, she was like Pac Sun. This movie, she's like Hot Topic.
I was thinking more like Spencer's.
Oh, yeah. This movie, she's like Spencer's.
Straight
like
up Spencer's.
It's like the wannabe Hot Topic.
It's like Gadzooks.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Fuck Gadzooks and fuck this movie. I think it's a combination of everything. I think February is a weird release time for this kind of movie. I think the marketing, they did screw up by calling it Birds of Prey.
Yeah, nobody knows what that shit is. There hasn't been a recent, they haven't used that title recently.
Exactly.
Also, there's no Birds of Prey until the last 10 minutes of the fucking movie.
It's a goddamn.
They don't all meet each other until the very end, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta team up." And it's like, "Oh,
they go on a mission.
Team
in the
up
last
for
act.
5 minutes."
The R rating it's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Yeah, there's a lot of swears, a lot of F-bombs and things like that. and there's the cocaine scene, which could have easily been something else. Actually, our friend John Yerkeba said, it would have been better and more world building if she would have taken a shot of Bane's venom from the evidence chamber. And I was like, you know what?
You know what? They should be
That's a
talking to
better
John.
idea.
Yeah.
That's literally a better idea.
Yeah.
And the violence, it's violent, but it's not like, it could have been PG-13 and maybe that would have made him at least another $10 million or something like that. But it's weird because like,
especially if they were trying to like do that female supporting a female type thing. Like,
but
if
the
that was
problem
part of it,
is
they
like,
could've made it
here's
more
the
wholesome.
fact, just like the movie was marketed, I don't know who they were marketing towards, but it's the viewing audience skewed males, like 25 to 50-year-old males. Like females aren't going to see this movie.
So yes, I have some audience.
Here's the thing. Like, Abby, I'm sorry, but like everyday average like females don't give a fuck about these kinds of movies. They just don't. Do they?
I mean, not the ones I talk to. And I'm not going to say that. I mean, I don't know.
How many of your female friends saw Suicide Squad?
Oh, none. Yeah. I mean, there's a case to be made for that. Like that's another answer the call thing too, though, to be like, oh, that's our demographic. We're going to get these girls to come in and see it.
The problem is when you got movies like the MCU or Deadpool, they become these like cultural moments where no matter, you know, if you're a 15-year-old kid or a 25-year-old woman or a 50-year-old dude, like everybody flocks to the movie. This movie never got its footing. DC does not have a great track record, but DC also, the movies make money. Shazam made money. Wonder Woman made money. I just think this was a poorly executed from a marketing standpoint.
There's too many barriers for like the average like layman viewer or whatever who has no idea.
I've talked to multiple people who are normally up to date with these kinds of things who didn't even realize that it came out.
Yeah.
That's never a good sign.
Yeah. I was talking to someone at work about it and they were like, oh, well, I saw Joker. I can't wait to see the next with Harley Quinn. I was like, that's different.
Hey, let's talk about that real quick before we start wrapping up.
Why didn't they make it like that? Serious as fuck, like cover the trauma of her childhood or whatever.
I wasn't going to say any of that.
Okay, well, I thought about that earlier.
What I'm saying is
be more into it.
The biggest DC movie, one of the biggest movies of the last several years is a DC movie, and it was Joker. This movie has nothing to do with that, but references Joker the whole time. To the average moviegoer, that is confusing. I guarantee that's confusing.
Yeah.
I know it is.
Yeah.
Right now, they've got a new Batman trilogy in development. Plus, you've got the DC universe, plus you've got 3 concurrent universes happening, and that's just not going to work. Mm-hmm. It's just not.
It's off-brand. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've dug a hole and they're refusing to
lie in it.
They're refusing to what DC needs to do is they need like a fresh start. They need to be able to start from the beginning and be like, those are done. This is what we're doing moving forward. And they need to think it out, but they're not doing that. They just think if they keep pushing forward, they'll eventually catch on to something that works, and it's not happening.
They need James Gunn. Oh, wait.
They have James Gunn. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's what writes the ship.
That was the first thing we talked about was how this would affect his writing and direction with that movie.
It won't. You know why? Because I read an article. There's no there's no planning. They are viewing these as independent projects that just happen to take place in the same universe.
How can you do that? You're a comic. It's fucking comic.
I don't know.
Book
Ask
based.
Ryan Johnson.
Oh yeah. You mean just the captain of Do Your Own Thing? Cool.
Yeah, Knives Out was the weirdest Star Wars movie I've ever seen. I still haven't seen that. Yeah, I don't know. And it'll be interesting to see how Wonder Woman does, and it'll probably do fine. And
it'll do better.
That's fine. Well, it's gonna do.
Called Wonder Woman.
This movie bombed $30 million.
It was a big old stinky bomb
on an $80 million budget for a superhero movie. Opening, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's really bad.
This movie, Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, dude.
All over itself.
Oh yeah. It was several different movies kind of mashed together. It had been through way too much like handling from too many different people.
But did you like it?
I loved it. I can't wait to go see it again. No, 3 fucks. That's it.
It's it kind of sucks too because I don't root for these movies to do. Well, maybe a little bit decent.
I was actively rooting for it to do well, so yeah, that's a bummer.
They got our money.
Yeah, I took the poster. I left the poster. That's it. Cool.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say other than I don't know. I hope so. I think Suicide Squad will be great, but what if it's the kind of thing where it's really great, but people just don't go because, again, it's confusing because there was already a movie called Suicide Squad, and they won't come out and say if this is a sequel or.
But they've got I feel like there's enough star power behind it.
It has to be a sequel. Unless they start doing parallel universe stuff, it has to be a sequel because they're using
same actors.
Can they
right?
advertise it as like from the director who brought you Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 2?
They're gonna have to.
Thing?
They're going to.
Yeah, they
from
will.
the director who was banned from Twitter.
Get hooked on a feeling again.
Oh man.
Yeah. Here's hoping, y'all.
From the director who Disney fired for making the most inappropriate jokes of all time, and DC was like, "We'll take them."
Dollar signs.
I love James Gunn, and I really can't wait for that. It's gonna be great.
Same. Excited.
What I meant is I can't wait for him to be back on Guardians.
Just get away from DC.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Cool, guys.
Recap.
Fun episode.
We hate everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Yeah.
People know that about us. Anything else before we take off?
We don't hate everything. We love our listeners and we love group therapy. So join up and give us 5 stars and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Is that all the plugs?
Hey, I love Ghostbusters.
Sure.
That's what I love.
I do too.
I'm excited for it.
I love this city and this town.
What are you doing?
New York.
We're not there.
We're going to be there in a week.
Okay. All right. Well, we can wrap it up there. I did want to once again say, make sure that you're following us, checking us out on social media, Instagram and Twitter at YHS Podcast. We very much appreciate. Are you leaving? Abby's leaving.
Abby's
gone.
I'm trying to go at 7 on. It closes at 10.
We need to leave.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to the grocery store.
Okay.
Wait, where are you going?
7 on.
No, I think we're gonna. I don't think I don't like you guys going there without me.
You don't like it?
Jake's gonna keep us on the line. Jake's like,
Do you
I
want
had a
us
couple
to
more
call
thoughts.
you?
We got more to talk about. I got an idea for Suicide Squad 3.
Yeah, hold on, but what you think about Harley Quinn was pretty good. Let's keep talking about it.
Let me tell you how they can fix this Harley Quinn issue.
Exterior, Gotham City, night.
We start on a hyena.
Oh my god.
Fuck that hyena.
Bring Jim Carrey in.
Let Jim Carrey play the hyena.
Yeah. As hyena.
So go see the movie.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think
Yeah.
in the comments.
Get yourself a poster. There's plenty.
And we will see everybody next week. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're a bad feminist.
No, this is I'm sorry. It reeks of being
Abby's.
poser
I just
feminism.
want to say that Abby's like currently walking away from the microphone booth.
I have been. I'm
waiting for this to be over.
I'm holding my headphones upside down like a telephone, and I'm leaning in, like, yeah, okay, I love you. No, you hang up. And it's because I want to go to the grocery store.
All right. Yeah. Well, Abby's gonna go to the grocery store. I'm gonna edit a podcast. Jake's gonna watch some Eminem videos. We're gonna call it a night.
Cool.
Yeah.
For Abigail Gardner and Jacob Walsh, my name is Craig Goldberg. We will see everybody next week on Yes Have Some Podcast.
Yes.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.